today actually we'll do two, not fully two chapters. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter. So this is where the son of Dronacharya, called Aswathama, is actually how he was punished because of his atrocious activity. And even though he was a son of Dronacharya, look at how Aswathama is. So he is actually very bad, actually. But unfortunately, the next Veda Vyasa is going to be Aswathama only. Because right now it is Veda Vyasa, who is the incarnation of Lord Narayana. And the next one is next cycle, not this cycle. This cycle will be over by this coming Kali Yuga. So out of the 432,000 years, 5,000 plus 5,033 years are gone. So now the remaining, after that, the fresh, another cycle will be starting, and in that cycle, the Vyasa will be actually Aswathama. Anyway, hope that everything will be fine. So then also the first canto, 8th chapter is prayers from Kunti Devi, and also, how Parikshit Maharaj was saved. But anyway, we'll try whatever we can do today. So as I mentioned, Aswathama was the son of Dronacharya, and he was at the side of Duryodhana. Actually, he became so loyal to the evil king Duryodhana. So now how this particular chapter starting is, Shaunaka Uvacha Nirgate Narada Sutta Bhagavan Badarayanya Sruttavam Tat Abhipretam Tadakim Akarot Vibhuhu. So now let me put in the other mode so that you can see the verse also. So, okay, no, I have to now use my both hands in fact. So what is here starting is, Sri Shaunaka Rishi. Who is Shaunaka Rishi? One of the 60,000 rishis who are actually hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam from Sutta Deva Goswami. So he is asking, oh Sutta Deva Goswami, the great and transcendently powerful Vyasa Deva heard everything from Sri Narada Muni. That's what we really did in the previous episodes. So I'm wondering, after Narada Muni's departure, what did Vyasa Deva do? So that is how the question is actually coming there. So now, so see now completely, let me see. Okay, here you go. So now here, this is the subsequent verses coming. So Sutta Goswami is answering. He's saying, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, now we cannot see that. Why? River Saraswati, eventually it got submerged. It really gone under the surface of the earth. But what is the proof? Satellite images are showing exactly there is a river flowing underneath the surface of the earth. So basically, as the time went on, this became, down and down, and it is still flowing. That's what they are saying. Still it is flowing. But previously it was flowing on the surface of the earth. But now it has gone down. And that we are seeing from the satellite images actually. So they are proven. So Sutta Goswami is going on the western bank of the river Saraswati, which is intimately related with the Vedas. Remember, those are the place around the Saraswati river. All those rishis were all living there. And that was what actually, that Hindu Valley and Saraswati, they're all the places where all this, our Vedic culture was really just blooming. And that is why when the Muslims invaded, they really gave the name Hindu, because Hindus, that is how the whole thing came. We are not Hindus. We should not call ourselves Hindus. No. We are actually, we follow Jaiva Dharma. There is no sectarian thing at all. But anyway, he's saying, Sutta Goswami is saying, yes, there, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, there is a cottage for meditation there is a unique place called Samya Prasa, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages. So sages were living there, in that place. Srila Vyasadeva in his own ashrama, which was surrounded by berry trees. You can see that, I put some berry trees. So much of berry trees, and he sat down in his cottage, And he started meditating just after touching water for purification. What that means? You do achamana and everything, and so that you purify yourself and before you really pray to the Lord. So what was he doing there? So there he was, okay, now I am just skipping to some of the few of the slokas. We are going straight to this. There he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, along with his external energy. So great sage, this sage Vyasadeva, by the grace of his Gurudev Sri Narada Muni, received Bhagavatam in his trance. This Bhagavatam is not something that is actually, it's a man-made. No, never. It is all there. All the pastimes of the Lord and all the histories, whatever that happened, they are all in these Akashic records. So what they do is they retrieve from the Akashic records. So even if all the Vedas and everything all finished, actually everything can be retrieved. Because there is a master storage. From there only all the rishis will be actually bringing them down. So similarly, by the mercy of Gurudev Narada, this Narada Muni, he received Srimad Bhagavatam in his trance. So after receiving Srimad Bhagavatam, then he taught that to his own son, Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Who is the Sukadeva Goswami? Suka is the one. Suka means actually parrot. So he had a parrot face. And he was the one who was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, who was about to leave his body in 7 days because of the curse by a Brahmana and all those, So now if you really go here, Saunaka Rishi asked there, Sukadeva Goswami was already a realized soul. Then why did he have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from his father? So that was a good question. So he was asking why he has to hear. But the thing is the answer is very interesting. What is that? Suta Goswami is saying, one may be liberated. One may become liberated. So he becomes Atmarama. But that does not mean they will not really have taste in listening to the transcendental pastime, the Leelas of the Lord. The Leelas of the Lord are very, very high. So liberation means not like the Shankaracharya, all those who really follow that you really go to Nirvana, basically, get into Brahman and then you kill yourself and dead. That's it. That is not. Because we are actually illusioned by this. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give the right Siddhanta. That is what we are actually so fortunate to be under this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the 6 Goswamis. Okay, so this is very important to really understand. So okay, so I hope you are getting all the things correctly. Okay, 1 second, let me fix few things here. I don't know what is going on. Okay, there you go. Now I am good. It's all technical, please. So because if you see that in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, third sloka, it says, Nigama kalpataror garitam palam sugamukat amrita travay samyutam pibatta bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. So what that means? In all liberated souls, not just got suicide and got into Brahman. Everybody says Brahman. Brahman means, no, that is suicide. So liberated souls mean what? They are all going to Vaikuntha and above all those high, above this Brahman. All those will love to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's what actually here he is saying. Suta Goswami is responding. Just because somebody got liberated means what? Now they are beyond this Maya. But that doesn't mean that is the end of the chapter. So they will be going further high. So now Suta Goswami is now addressing the rishis headed by the Saunaka. I am skipping few things here and there. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Sri Krishna, because that was a question that asked by the rishis. Isn't it? They asked about 6 questions that we went through before. So one of them is this. Please narrate the pastimes of Lord Krishna. That is basically the Sammam Bhuvanam, which is the 10th canto, is about that. What was the thing? Those topics were the very important thing for King Parikshit, in fact. So all those who are actually hearing, and Suta Goswami is now really going to be narrating what he heard from. Suta Goswami is going to narrate whatever that he heard from his Gurudev, who was Sukadeva Goswami. So, okay, it sounds similar, but Sukadeva Goswami was a son of Vedavyasa, and Suta Goswami was actually the disciple of who was the one who really heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. So now it's starting. In the Mahabharat war, many warriors of both the camps, namely the Kauravas and Pandavas, were killed because Lord Krishna wanted to finish. He came for some purpose. And they were all killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And the dead warriors obtained their deserved destinations because they get moksha. So they get moksha because then when somebody is actually killed by the Lord himself, okay, that is one kind of moksha, that he will go to Brahma Jyoti. But those who are really higher, then they really go higher and Vaikunta and above. So now again, he is actually describing at the end, Duryodhana, the son of Dhritarashtra, fell down lamenting as his spine broken because of the beating by the club of Bhimasena. But then something unexpected happened. Aswathama, the son of Dronacharya, became upset that Duryodhana was defeated. He wanted to take revenge out of his, because he was so loyal to his master, Duryodhana. So he went in the midnight one day and went into the camp of Pandavas, and he saw the place where these sons of Draupadi were sleeping in the camp, because when the war happens, they fight in the daytime, and the night they all take rest. Whoever actually died, they all will be telling condolences to each other, like that. Oh, sorry that, you are so and so dead, this like that. But because war is different, this the way the war was really fought before was very different, because, they all follow the dharma. So, that is a different. Anyway, but this guy was crooked. He was so frustrated to hear that Duryodhana was really defeated. So midnight, he took a big knife and went inside, slipped into this camp of there and killed the sons of the Pandavas, sons of Draupadi. And he cut the head. And he really brought those as a gift to his master, Duryodhana. But Duryodhana, however, disapproved of this heinous act. And he was not pleased in the least at all. And now, these 5 Pandavas have 5 children through Draupadi. So Draupadi, the mother of these 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing of the massacre of her sons, began to cry in distress with eyes full of tears. Trying to pacify her in her great loss, Arjuna spoke to her thus: "O gentle lady, when I present you with the head of that Brahmana who was that Aswathama, after beheading him, I will cut off his head with my arrows, with my Gaudiya bow. I shall then only wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your bath standing on his head." So he promised. And there, of course, you have who was there? Lord Krishna is there. Lord Krishna is there. So now Arjuna who was actually helped by Lord Krishna, of course. We all know that. because Krishna himself became the chariot driver. And Aswathama, the murder of the sons of the Pandavas, because he did the very, very universal task, then that means he was, now Arjuna is chasing after. And he really took his bow and arrows, and now on his chariot, he started chasing Aswathama. And when Aswathama saw that his horses were getting tired because they were running for a long time, the chase was very much. And Aswathama knew that the horses are now about to collapse. Then what he did? Because he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of using his ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon. Nuclear weapons are not really new. They are already there. So since his life was in danger, he touched the water for sanctity, because this is how they invoke because these all fired by invoking the mantras, not like the way that is fired here. It's all controlled by mantra. It's started by mantra, and also it can be traced back, because that is not powerful, because these nuclear weapons we have in this age, we cannot really take it back. Once it's gone, and then only the opposing party has to really knock it out or something. That's what Israel, you really heard all the war, everything. So but here they can really retrieve back by telling the mantra the backwards. But anyway, so since his life was in danger, so he really, took water and then, prayed that is how all these mantras are recited. You have to first purify, because mantras are not ordinary, otherwise it won't be effective. So after chanting the hymns of that mantra, then yes, nuclear weapon was launched. But the thing was, because of some curse or something, Aswathama does not know how to take this weapon back. It's once fired, he has no control afterwards. So thereupon, what happened there? A glaring light spread in all directions. That is exactly the nuclear weapons, all the testing and everything, that we know. Glaring light comes and it spreads in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life in danger. And so he began to address Lord Krishna. O Lord of the Lords, how is it that this dangerous effulgence is spreading all around? Where does it come from? And then Lord Krishna said, know from me that this is the act of the son of Dronacharya. He has thrown the hymns of nuclear energy, that Brahmastra, and he does not know how to retract the glare. He has helplessly done this, being afraid of his imminent death. So Lord Krishna told also, O Arjuna, only another Brahmastra can counteract this weapon. Since you are expert in the military science, subdue this weapon's glare with the power of your own weapon. And Sri Suta Goswami was continuing to tell, hearing this from the personality of Godhead Krishna, Arjuna touched the water for purification, and he really told the mantras, and after circumambulating Lord Sri Krishna, he just cast his Brahmastra weapon to counteract the other one. And what happened? Samhatyan yonyam yubayos tejasi saraf sambrute avritya rodasi kamcha vaurutate arkabhagnivat. When the rays of the two these Brahmastras combined, a great circle of fire like the disk of the sun covered all outer space and the whole the firmament of planets. Everything is covered. All the population of the three worlds was scorched by the combined heat of the weapons. Everyone was reminded of the Samvartaka, fire which takes place at the time of annihilation. What is this Samvartaka fire? At the time of the annihilation, that means Brahma's life is done. He is now going back to, merging back to this Lord Vishnu. And now after that, there will be annihilation for a long time. And then again the recreation will be starting. That Samvartaka, fire is one of the ways it will be annihilated. It will be mercilessly, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, at the end of the millennium, I mercilessly destroy everything. And some of the other times, it all will be destroyed by floods, either water or fire. So that means annihilation can be by either water or by fire, depending on what Lord Shiva, how he really wants to do that for that particular cycle. Thus now here, seeing the disturbance of the general populace and the imminent destruction of the planets, Arjuna at once retracted both Brahmastra weapons, Lord Krishna. Both are taken out. So the effect is now nullified. And now, because how the thing was, because this happened so much that the entire world, the worlds were all really having suffering because of the heat. And now, what did Arjuna do? Tada asatya tarasa darunam Gautami Sutam. Who is Gautami? Gautami Suta means the son of Gautami. Who is Gautami? Gautami is actually the consort of Dronacharya. Babantam Marshatam Rukashaha Pashum Rasainaya Yata. Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger like two red balls of copper. Oh my, we are so furious that this, the Pandava's sons, the 5 sons are really killed by, this is very atrocious. And he got hold of Aswathama because he couldn't do anything else. Son of Gautami and son of Dronacharya, and bound him with ropes like an animal. Pashum Rashanaya Yata. Arjuna wanted to take him to the military camp. Lord Krishna, looking on with his lotus eyes, spoke to Arjuna in angry mode. Krishna is also angry. And he was so angry, so angry. And what did he say? He said, "O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing this relative of a Brahmana. Brahmana Bandhu." Why Brahmana Bandhu is actually talking about here? A person who may take birth in the family of a Brahmana. But if he is not qualified to be called a Brahmana, he is addressed as somehow relative of a Brahmana. That is a Brahmana Bandhu. So that is how Krishna is saying. And he said, Lord Krishna said, what did he say? I have personally heard you promise Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. This man is an assassin and murderer of your own family members. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his own master, Duryodhana. Duryodhana did not like that either. So he is but the burned remnants of his family. Kill him immediately. And Suta Goswami was continuing. Although Lord Krishna, who was examining Arjuna in religion, see now this is where the difference is. What is Krishna is saying? You kill him. But indirectly he means something else actually. That only Arjuna knows. Arjuna is a great soul. So he did not like the idea of killing him either. Because Lord Krishna, when he spoke to Arjuna, because the way he is getting the message is something is put by Lord Krishna inside. So he did not want to kill him. But he promised already that he will also kill. Isn't it? He really gave the promise to Draupadi. Now, how can that be really, now satisfied? So after reaching his own camp, Arjuna, along with his dear friend and charioteer, who is Krishna, entrusted the murderer unto his dear wife, who was lamenting for her murdered sons. What did he do? Sutta Goswami is saying. Okay, now Draupadi is seeing that Aswathama is now bound by rope, and he just put on the feet of Draupadi, pushed to the feet of Draupadi. But Draupadi, look at Draupadi. She saw Aswathama, who was bound with ropes like an animal and silent for having enacted the most. So she became silent. What is this? He's the one who really is a Brahmana. But due to her female nature and due to her being naturally good and well behaved, look at how this side is behaving. See, if you see the Pandavas and Kauravas, see, look at how these two parties moved. These personalities' moods are. One wants to really kill, and other one wants to forgive. And what did she do? She showed him first respect as a Brahmana. He paid obeisance to that Aswathama. And actually, even until today, a family woman actually shows proper respect than the man actually. So she could not tolerate Aswathama's being bound by ropes. Look at her 5 sons, not 1 or 2, but 5 sons were killed by this rascal, right? But what is he thinking? He could not tolerate. Oh, she had been bound by ropes like an animal. And being a devoted lady, she said, please release him. He is a Brahmana. He is our spiritual master. She also said, it was by Dronacharya's, that is his father's mercy, that you all learned the military art of throwing arrows. And also you learned all the confidential art of controlling the weapons. You want to kill his son? Most fortunate one who knows the principles of religion. It is not good for you to cause grief to glorious family members who are always respectable and worshipful. They are their guru. My Lord, he is now he is telling Krishna, oh my Lord, do not make the wife of Dronacharya cry like me. I am aggrieved for the death of my sons. She need not cry constantly like me. Sutta Goswami was just narrating further. He was saying, oh Rishis, King Yudhishthira, who really was hearing, supported the statements of the queen. You see, another only Yudhishthira is even next. Actually, if you see that Bhima is the other side. And where King Yudhishthira is so religious, because he is the son of Dharmaraja, Yamaraja. So King Yudhishthira fully supported the statements of the queen, Draupadi, which were in accordance with the principles of religion and were justified, glorious, and they are all full of mercy and without duplicity. They mean it. Nakula and Sakadeva also. Yes. Also, and Arjuna and Lord Krishna and all the ladies and others, they anonymously agreed with the king. Yes, we should not kill him. But Bhima was furious. He angrily disagreed with them. And he said, no, these culprits should be killed immediately without even saying anything. He has murdered sleeping children for no purpose and for neither his nor his master's interest. And hearing this, Lord Krishna said, a friend of a Brahmana is not to be killed. He is not saying that he is a Brahmana. Because of this terrible act, he is not saying that he is a Brahmana actually. So he is a friend of a Brahmana, not to be killed. But if he is an aggressor, he must be killed also. So now the problem is, if it is one way he should not be killed, And another way, because he really did this aggressive thing that, against dharma, he must be killed now. But all these rulings are in the scriptures. And you should act accordingly. Now, Arjuna is listening. Bhima is listening. All the Pandavas, 5 Pandavas, they are all listening. So you also have to fulfill your promise to your wife, Arjuna. And you must also act to the satisfaction of Bhimasena. Bhimasena does not want to leave him just like that too. And also you have to satisfy me too. And now Suta Goswami is saying, just then Arjuna could understand the motive of Lord Krishna by his equivocal order. So look at here now, equivocal order means the way the tone makes big difference. The way that Krishna is actually giving this information, this speech, and Arjuna can understand what exactly Krishna is actually building for. The same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's inner moods, who will understand? Is Rupa Goswami understands. Is Manobishtam. The same way, here, whatever the will of the Lord, and now Arjuna understands. What did he do? He really took his word and just, shaved his hair and cut the jewel. He had a jewel. Aswathama had a jewel. Because of that, because it was in the head. And because of that, he was getting extra strength. That is why he cannot be beat, defeated at all. So he severed both hair and jewel from the head of Aswathama. Aswathama had already lost his bodily luster due to this infanticide. And now, moreover, having lost the jewel from his head, he lost all the strength. Thus, he was now shamed. Everything he lost, and he was unbound and driven out of the camp. Go, get lost, just driven out. So, cutting the hair from his head, depriving him of his wealth. What is the wealth? That was that jewel. And that jewel is not like a wealth we talk about. That wealth is with his strength. And driven out of the residence. And as punishment to a relative of a Brahmana. There is no injection for killing the body of a Brahmana. So anyway, now what happened? These 5 Pandava sons, their heads were cut actually. Putra soka turag sarve Pandava saga krishnaya Swanam vritanam yad krityam Chakrur nirharajnadikam. What to do? Now the bodies need to be cremated. So, thereafter, the sons of Pandu and Draupadi, look at here, completely the Pandu, everything completely wiped out except one. One is there, that is Parikshit Maharaj. At that time, he was in the womb of Uttara. Okay, that also we are going to see. So they all overwhelmed, these 5 Pandava sons finished. So they performed the proper rituals for the dead bodies of the relatives. Now look at what is happening. That is what is actually taking to the next chapter. We won't be able to finish the whole thing. But we will just get into it. This is talking about the prayers of Kundi and Parikshit saved. And now Suta Goswami is saying, thereafter the Pandavas, desiring to deliver water to the dead relatives who had died, went to the Ganges then. They went to the Ganges along with Draupadi. Many ladies also walked in front. Having lamented over them and sufficiently offered Ganges water, they all bathed in the Ganges, whose water is sanctified due to being mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. And there sat the king of the Kurus, Maharaja Udishthira, along with his younger brothers. And look at now, who else were with them? Going to Ganges and giving all these Ganges water for taking bath in the Ganges, and then giving oblations to the past their relatives. Who were all with them? Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kundi, of course Draupadi, they all were there. And all overwhelmed with grief. Lord Krishna was also there. And after the pilgrimage, taking bath in Ganges, they all returned back to Hastinapur. And Lord Sri Krishna then prepared for his departure to go back to Dwaraka. Now because he came to do his task of killing all this bad, everything. He wanted to wipe out. Actually, what was the reason of the Mahabharata war? It was because Krishna willed that. It was because of Krishna's wish only the Mahabharata war happened, in fact. Because he would have really diverted. But he came to kill all these as one of his tasks set up when he descended. Actually, there are multiple purposes. Isn't it? Because when he appeared in Madura, that was Vishnu, Narayana and Vishnu. But at the same time, when he appeared also as a son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, that was Swayam Bhagavan. So now when this Lord eventually went back to finish all this, by Mahabharata war and all the other pastime, so this Nandanandan Krishna just became uppercut, and then as soon as he crossed the Yamuna, because Akrura was really taking on the chariot, and then they really got back to the Madhura form. They are all Narayana and Vishnu. So it was his will through the Vishnu to really finish all this, and that was the Mahabharata war. So Lord Krishna now prepared to go back to where? Dwaraka. And he invited all the sons of Pandu, that is 5 Pandavas. And after having worshipped, by the Brahmanas headed by Srila Vyasadeva, they all offering prayers to the Lord. And the Lord also reciprocated greetings. And then as soon as he seated himself on the chariot to start for Dwaraka, he saw Uttara hurrying towards him in great fear. Who is Uttara? The mother of Parikshit Maharaj. Because this is the only hair now there. Otherwise, if this Uttara is now pregnant, and in her womb there is a living, and that is Parikshit Maharaj. Now this Uttara is now running towards Krishna. What is that? Gandhum Kristamatir Brahman Dwarakam Ratam Astita. So Lord Krishna is now preparing to go back to Dwaraka. Upaleve Abhidvavantim Uttaram Bhaya Vikvalam Bhaya. So much of fear, he's running towards Lord Krishna. She said, "Oh Lord of the Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of the mystics. Please protect me, please protect me. Protect me. For there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality." And Uttara was crying. Bahi Bahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Tuat Abhayam Pasche Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. She's just coming and then crying, "Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, please save me." What was the problem? "Oh my Lord, you are so powerful, a fiery iron arrow is coming towards me fast. It is approaching to me. My Lord, let it burn me personally, I don't care. If you desire that I should be burned, no problem. But please do not let it burn and abort my embryo, my child in my womb. Please do me this favor, my Lord, please." Abhitravati mamisha sarastaptasya sap vibho kamam dahattu mam nata mame garbo nipatyatam. Please save my embryo in my garbo. Garbo means womb. Oh, I have a child. Please save at least him. Sutta Goswami was further saying, having patiently heard her words, what did Lord Krishna do? Because he is always affectionate to his devotees. He could immediately understand that Aswathama, the son of Dronacharya, now did another very, very sinful act. He had thrown another Brahmastra to finish the lost life in the Pandava family, who is now in the womb of Uttara, who was the would-be Parikshit Maharaj. Seeing the glaring Brahmastra proceeding towards them, the Pandavas immediately took their 5 respective weapons. Everyone has their own weapons. That's what they use in their war. And also, not only that, Krishna immediately did something. What was that? The Almighty God, Sri Krishna, having observed that a great danger was befalling his unalloyed devotees. These devotees are not ordinary devotees. See, look at here. Even if they had so many problems created by Duryodhana and the other side, they were always forgiving only. So, Lord Krishna said, I have to protect. They're all surrendered souls. He immediately invoked Sudarshan Chakra. That chakra immediately manifested right there. Who is Sudarshan Chakra? That is Narasimhadev. Immediately he came there, Narasimha. And what did he do? Oh, the Lord of Supreme Mysticism, Sri Krishna. He resides in everyone's heart as Paramatma. As such, just to protect the progeny of the Guru dynasty, he covered the embryo of Uttara by his personal energy and protected everybody too. And although the supreme Brahmastra weapon released by Aswathama was irresistibly, and without check, there is no way of counteraction, because now the problem is, this particular Brahmastra, apparently there was no way of, counteracting like Arjuna did. So because he really wanted to finish. Look at how shameless things that he was doing, Aswathama. And unfortunately, he is going to be the Vedavyasa next cycle. We better don't get, be born. Before that, you get a guru and then get out of all this samsara. You don't want to take any chance like that. Oh, it was easily neutralized by the Lord Krishna Chakra. Okay, so now that is taken care. So similarly, saved from all the radiation of the Brahmastra, now Kunti Devi, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons and Draupadi addressed Lord Krishna. Kunti, they are the Pandavas, and along with Draupadi addressed. As he was starting to go to his home, what is that? Dwaraka. So Kunti Devi started offering her prayers to Lord Krishna. We will continue that next week. So, again, by the way, this Aswathama is supposed to be the next Vedavyasa in the next Chaturyuga cycle.